Enga is the largest vernacular language in Papua New Guinea. What they call Enga people are go-getters.
They're influential in the capital city of Port Moresby, where they work as business leaders, leaders in the government, and they tend to be the movers and shakers. And so making sure that the Enga people have a translation of the New Testament is very important because they're influencing the rest of the country.
English is not our language, and Pidgin is not our language too. Hearing and reading the Bible in Pidgin, the meaning of the word of God is not very clear.
Somebody was preaching. You know what he did? He read it in Tok Pidgin and then translated with his bubble. That I don't know. And it's not accurate. They're missing a lot of points or they're adding a lot of points. That's not accurate. I want them to read it and understand the full message as it is.
So that is why some of us came together and found out that we should translate the Bible into Enga.
It is not that, one particular group or one particular church took the initiative to translate this. No. All the churches in Enga, the church denomination, we come together and to translate this Bible, and now it's come in our hands now.
I was speaking to a group of pastors, and I read a couple of passages from the Sermon on the Mount. They'd heard these passages before in English or Tok Pisin, but when they heard it in Enga, they got so excited that they started clapping and cheering. And so that just gives you a sense of how excited many people are to receive the Enga New Testament. We faced a number of challenges. The first challenge is the difficulty of the language. People are always so surprised to hear a foreigner speak Enga because Enga is really hard to learn. It's really hard to translate. The structure is so different from English. But probably the biggest challenge that we've had is dealing with tribal fighting. Tribal fighting is just a major problem in Enga province. One of our translators, William, he can't leave his house because if anybody sees him walking around, just because he's associated with a certain tribe, his life is at risk. We've had other translators' houses burned down in fighting, and it seems like every step of the way we've been impeded from our work.
Enga me one plakan place where all is quite close to. Me no run lo town to, me no run long market to. Me salimol mere pigni long go bam kage na bod na. Me had me look up blouse stop na walk stop blouse.
And I think sometimes we forget that translation work is more than just translation. It's about relationships. It's about seeing lives transformed. Often, when a man stands up for peace in Enga, they call him Merriman, which means basically they're calling him a woman because he's standing up for peace. But I remind them, I say, don't worry about what other people call you. Worry about what God calls you. And God says that when you stand up for peace, that He will call you a son of God. And I want to see the Enga people taking Jesus at His word and living in peace.
I want the people who love God and hear the story and then acknowledge and believe it's the Christ who died. Christ died for all people. But we have to work with all people. And the gospel of Christ might come to all people and understand the love of God.